you know, and I figured out who I am in this present moment, you know.
Oh, that was sweet. But I feel like I'm gonna watch it one more time because the audio was a little bit, it's not very clear, maybe because also we have the engine in the background. Um, and something, a really small detail, it looks like they blurred out the GNX logo on the front of the car. And I wonder if that was, what if they're trying to like distance themselves a little bit, not from like Kendrick, but like maybe hip hop, because sometimes businesses, especially old businesses, they don't understand hip hop. They don't understand the significance of it and the necessity of it in many ways, for expression, or how great it is, how great of an art it is, because a lot of people just take clips and pieces and the worst of it to say that's what it is when we know that's not what it is.
All right, my life is in your hands.
Scared, man. I told you I got you, man. You got movies
Oh,
to
look,
film.
Yeah,
yeah, what is
exactly.
that blurred out right
Put
there?
your
Did y'all see
seatbelt on. Your
that?
seatbelt on.
Yeah, let me get it on. Hold up.
So it's not actually the GNX,
All right.
but it's something right below it. Maybe it's the Grand, maybe it actually says Grand National, and maybe that's the part they want it blurred out.
My life is in your hands.
Scared, man. I told you I got you, man. You got movies to film.
Yeah, exactly.
Put your seatbelt on. Your seatbelt on.
Yeah, let me get it on. Hold up.
Mine's on, by the way. Don't be fooled.
Oh, it is on. Oh, I didn't see. All right.
It's like,
I
why
was
are
like, man,
they
people are
two in this interview
they saying I look
together?
soft. All right, got you. All right.
We in
Push
the
play,
studio.
thank you.
It's been a while. You know, you might come off with a little bit of writer's block. So we always got this thing about like keeping the pen up.
Hmm.
So this exercise, going there, doing 16 bars, going home. You know, always just keep moving. How I feel if it's been a while for you. You
Yeah.
take a minute. Take a minute for you warm up in front of the camera. Take a minute to remember the lines. Get into the character. How long does that? What's that process?
Yeah,
like?
all the above. You know, I try to prep at home, but the thing about acting is if you don't have an audience, it's just a form of insanity. You know, then you're just what are you doing? You know, so I'll definitely try to warm up and then.
By the way, the first time through when we were listening to that, I laughed. So, so yeah, that's so funny to me because yeah, in some ways it is, but at his level and at the level for a lot of actors, that are really, really famous, you're not doing the insanity part, which would be like memorizing the lines and talking to yourself and in the mirror and putting the emotions in it and things like that. You have a scene partner or you have a line partner who's going to be there with you, and then you're doing this thing together. Um, so it's a little less insane. But yeah, that's too funny to me that he described it in that way. And push play, thank you so much. So good to see you. What is going on? Yeah, the engine is loud, right? It's one of those old cars. But this is also one of the best engines of an old car, is what I'm understanding. Um, but so does anyone know why the two of them are together, or is it just that he's so big and he's a Kendrick fan, and then the managers made it happen or got it to happen? Apple said, "Let's get a white guy to interview Kendrick for optics." Oh my goodness, static. Looking at pictures and it says Buick underneath. Oh, so the Buick part, they said, we do not, they're like, we'll let you put GNX out there, but do not say Buick. Wait, is Buick still around? Wait, who owns the copyright to Buick now? Interesting.
And lose that self consciousness when you finally get back out there.
Yeah.
But that takes time. I always try to embrace failure. You were talking about that the other day.
Yeah.
Oh, you
That
have to.
uh,
All forms of art, you have
the
to.
most important part of a bad day is like the way you leave it. And if you could leave a bad take or a
Mm,
bad day with a positive attitude, then you got nothing to fear.
mm.
I think
Because you
that's
can
probably
get
one of
back
the
at it,
biggest
do it again.
misconceptions about me as an artist.
Stretch
Uh,
after this.
I'm always locked in and I'm always trying new things. Whether or not I like them is a whole another
Right.
conversation, but I have to keep the pen moving. It's my form of sanity, and it's also has given me uh, the opportunity to learn myself. Find out who I am.
You mean through the styles of expression or the actual
Yeah.
lyricism or everything?
I mean, because when we write, man, you gotta sit and go through the emotions and be vulnerable about it. Whether it's a fun song or sad or got some type of depth or not. These are still relatively your personality, you know, pushing through. And so a lot of these records I write, man, it's a lot of stuff I probably would never express or even known about myself if it wasn't for an instrumental behind it.
Mm.
With my projects, it always be that one record I feel like uh, that I want everyone to hear. You know what I'm saying? In order to push the narrative or just the message and the tone that I want to get across. I can have so many other records that have different narratives and tones, like Reflection, right?
Mm.
To preserve a space for that one that I want everyone to hear.
And we kind of talked about that with Timo Lyricist when we were reviewing his art 2 days ago. And Enigma also mentioned this too, where some people might think like writing is just, oh, I come up with words, I rhyme them together, and that makes a song. What Kendrick is also saying here is like how you find yourself inside of the art by doing unusual things or experimenting with word styles, inflections, and things like that. And that's, people who uh, can talk about the way they feel. A lot of times it's because they put themselves out there and became vulnerable enough to experiment with the words coming out and if they rang true to themselves. Because I've known people who struggle with expressing themselves and how they feel. And then sometimes they don't also want to be uncomfortable and try new words and try new ideas and expressing those just to kind of see if that sticks. It's like throwing spaghetti at the wall. Yeah, and seeing if your spaghetti's done. So yeah, that's something that's important. I think that everyone should go through, even if it's not through writing hip hop and rap. Just finding something that you can express yourself in, even if it's painting. Like you could literally, have different colors on an easel or have different shapes around itself or around um, the canvas, actually, is what I'm trying to say. If you have different shapes and colors on the canvas, they might make you feel certain things that you feel expresses yourself even more. And then maybe looking into what these colors mean, what these shapes mean to other people, and then finding out more about yourself in the process. Um, because I do feel like we also get a really good understanding of ourselves when we express ourselves and then let other people experience it. That is a whole other layer of comfort in yourself and your expression um, that then becomes vulnerable again in the eyes of other people. But if you can find a way to still stand on your own authenticity, I feel like you can do anything. You can then release those things out to everyone else. And that's what art is. It's something you create, hopefully, that's authentic to yourself, that you give to everyone else. And then you allow other people to have their own experiences with it. I'm sure there are youthful, young people who are listening to Kendrick and they're like, oh, wait, I recognize with that. And I mentioned this in my reaction video to GNX. Like, I'm really hoping that there are now young people who will hear this and say, oh, I want to go in Kendrick's direction. For him to be the first hip hop artist to then also be in the Super Bowl, that does wonders for people who don't understand hip hop. Like, you could have seen the beef going back and forth, and you're like, it's just hip hop. It's just, as some people say, oh, they're just talking on the track. But to see this person then get the biggest stage, yeah, the biggest stage in America, I want to say. I think it's the most viewed event of the year. Um, those numbers do something to other people to say, oh man, this he must have been really, really amazing. And then to have so much substance behind his art that's authentic to him. So I feel like we can expect more of that to come. Um, it may also unlock other people, like he said in his interview. Y'all, I might get emotional. I'm so happy that he's doing this thing. Okay. Um, so they probably don't show it because if they do, they need to pay Buick or they don't have permission to show it. Yes, exactly. That or the both. Yes. Buick could have been like, give us $1 billion. We know you got it. NFL and Apple and Kendrick and Timothy.
That's what
Interesting.
that's
Interesting.
what pushes me, man. That's why I like the Man at the Garden, and even the
Oh.
fact that it's at the top of the record.
Yeah, that's how it felt
Mm.
like to me. Also just being a fan of your music forever and knowing like look at where you're at now, man.
No,
Like
real
it's this
shit.
crazy Super Bowl halftime show,
Hell yeah.
uh, and you
I
just keep climbing, bro. It's like amazing.
appreciate it, man. I mean that, bro.
Yeah.
Man in the Garden, I mean every word on that motherfucker, man. That's probably the easiest record to write, you know. And I figured out who I am in this present moment, you know.
Get him, Kendrick. Get them, Kendrick. Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. That is great. But does anyone know why it's the two of them?